or they try to.
We're back with segment 2 with Jeff Hruska of Hruska Plumbing, Vice President. In this segment, we want to talk about marketing and growth and how you're expanding. I know you have a goal of doubling your business in the next couple of years. How are you going about doing that?
Just, maintaining what we've done in the past, which is just give our customers honest, be reasonable with them and give them good service. As well as, with some advertising in the church bulletins and the school programs and some magazines and stuff like that. We do some of those things, but just to, like I said, maintain what we've been doing.
I think that's an important lesson, though, for someone that's either looking to start a business or someone that is already in business. Is it takes it takes about 1/10 the energy and cost to keep a client than it does to go find a new client.
Right.
And sometimes I think once, quote unquote, the horse is in the barn, sometimes we take for granted that relationship and that service. So to your point, here you are 3 generations later, you're still dealing with a lot of these people over all these years, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So when we think about your business, we were kind of talking off air that there's like 4 distinct pieces to the business. There's service.
Yes.
There's municipalities. So you actually do a lot of work for municipalities when they have more major projects and what have you. They need a licensed plumbers to come in. Of course, your brother Brad is running the HVAC, and then you also brought a guy in, and you started sort of the new construction phase to the business as well.
Yeah.
And you've seen some growth over the years there?
Yes, that would be my brother-in-law, Adam. He kind of runs that.
Is he in Florida sitting on his ass too?
He's in Florida as well. So that's,
we should do this on location.
We should have done this from
Flew
where are
Bud
they
down.
in Florida?
they're in Aventura, Florida.
Where's
That's
Avondale?
by Hallandale, Hollywood, Florida.
Oh yeah, sure. North of Fort Lauderdale.
It's half hour south of Lauderdale, or half hour north
that's
of
right.
Miami.
It's in between Miami and I know that place.
So.
Been there. Good spot.
Right.
All right. So when you think about growth, the sort of the next phase we were talking off air. You're seeing sprinklers.
Yeah, it's going to be mandated here, not too far off.
Is this going to be a PA mandate?
Yeah, it's going to be. And you're going to have to during new construction when you're building new homes. It's going to be required you have an in-house sprinkler system as well. It was only used to be commercial settings.
Yeah,
but now it's going to be moving into residential,
which is awesome for you guys. I mean, that's like I don't want to say doubling the plumbing in a house, but. Yeah, I mean it's
substantial. It's an additional thing that we have to offer.
It's going to be built in.
It's nice for me to be able to offer. Hey, I can do your plumbing, I can do your HVAC, and now I can take care of your sprinkler system.
The additional learning is to stay ahead of the curve. You're up
That's
on
where
the
the puck's
industry.
headed.
You're seeing that ahead and going ahead. And I believe you said that we're going to get guys licensed to do all that.
Yes.
So you got to get so. Sharpening the saw, as Covey always says in his book 7 Habits, sharpening the saw. You're going to have to send guys out to get certified.
They'll have to go to some classes to take how to put the piping together and just know that the codes and what's required of it.
Now, the other way, the other way that you've grown is the other way to grow. So there's organic growth, which is really what you've done. But the other way that typically a company will grow is mergers and acquisitions. Mm-hmm. Now, you haven't officially acquired or merged with another firm.
No.
But at the same time, I think you have an interesting story about how you have, in essence, unofficially acquired businesses.
There's been some instances in people that are, my father's age or older that were in business. At the time they did HVAC, and my dad was just a plumber. So if we had a HVAC call, we would call this guy.
Yeah.
And as these guys,
if they needed plumbing, they call your dad.
Right.
Yeah.
And as time passes and these guys retire or go out of business, they just refer their customers to us because of the relationship they had with my father or my grandfather.
I think this is a huge lesson. A huge lesson for the business virgins out there, but also the people that have been in business for a while. So often, and I see it all the time in my business, people, you know, if they're out and about in a bar or a restaurant, they're talking, you know, there's someone else, you know, who's a financial advisor from Smith Barney, and they're, you know, like, that guy does it. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do that. Build relationships with your competition.
Yeah.
Have good relationships with your competition, because
Absolutely.
you know what? One of these days, especially if
never
they're
know.
older than you, they're going to retire.
Yeah. Yep.
And they're going to
Absolutely.
say, who's that guy? And who do I want to, you know, my clients to
I
be
think
talking
another
to?
interesting point that we talked about off air was you had the opportunity to grow sooner into a different market, and you chose to pull back. Talk a little bit about that.
That was, you know, with specifically, let's say, tankless hot water tanks, the instantaneous style. They've been around probably for about maybe 10 to 12 years now. Initially, I wasn't comfortable with the with where they at with the technology, and I just wanted to work the kinks out. And you know, so when I install something, I feel comfortable doing it, and I'm knowledgeable about it.
And another big lesson is when you're going to put your name when you go to do something, and to keep that reputation, you better be sure you're comfortable with what you're doing, and you feel confident in the companies you're using, the suppliers you're using, the products you're using to be able to do it.
It all goes back to one thing, and your name's on it. So
Exactly.
you have to
build the brand, and that's part of
That's
it,
it.
and doing that. So.
All right, we're going to wrap this session. Awesome lessons, though. Awesome lessons to why you guys have been so successful in this segment. All right, to get a hold of Hruska Plumbing, 412-461-1515 is probably on the bottom of the video that you're watching. Get a hold of Debbie. She's there at what, 7:30?
7:30.
She's there until 3:30, right?
Yes.
She's a sweetheart. She'll take care of you and get you on the phone with the guys. Hruska Plumbing will be back with Jeff momentarily.